Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching. My name is Cole Blair. I'm the lead biologist with Wildlife Preservation Canada's Native Pollinator Initiative. And today I have a very exciting sequence of videos for you all about bumblebees, particularly in the context of community science. So thinking about bumblebees and their importance, how you can get involved with things like community science and contribute to broader monitoring across North America, and then also how we can actually go out and identify bumblebees, which is my favorite part. So again, um, all the different bees that we might observe, specifically in Southern Ontario, where I am located, and all the different ways and traits that we look at in order to differentiate species from other species that might look the same. But before we get into that, I do want to take a moment to make a brief land acknowledgement. I would like to recognize the diversity of Indigenous peoples who have and continue to steward these lands and acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that also call this land home. Since Preservation Canada's headquarters are in Guelph, Ontario, I shall share the acknowledgement based on this location. So Guelph, Ontario is situated on the homelands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Attawandaron peoples, and also on the treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. As those involved in species conservation, our natural lands and the animals within them are very important to us. This recognition reflects our commitment to listening to and cherishing the traditional knowledge that Indigenous peoples have of the species we work with, and our commitment to ensuring our efforts are holistic and inclusive of all ways of knowing. A little bit more about Wildlife Preservation Canada. We're a nationally operating nonprofit charity tasked with saving animal species that are at risk from extinction by providing direct and hands-on care. We have many different teams that work with different endangered species, such as the Eastern loggerhead shrike. We have a team dedicated to breeding and reintroduction of this endangered songbird. Similarly, with the Massasauga rattlesnake. Out in BC, we have teams dedicated to the Taylor's checker spot butterfly, Western painted turtle, and the Oregon spotted frog. But what we're really here to talk about today, again, is our bumblebees. So our bumblebee recovery program is based out of South Central Ontario. The focal species of this program is going to be the yellow-banded bumblebee, which is listed federally under our Species at Risk Act as special concern. And when we started this program, the focal species in mind was the rusty patch bumblebee, which we'll talk more about later. But the rusty patch bumblebee being very endangered and not having been seen in Canada since 2009, as you'd expect, it becomes very hard to have a recovery program for something that we can't really go out and find in the wild. So we shifted focus to the yellow-banded bumblebee as a related species, not only to help bolster the wild populations that are declining in southern parts of its range, but also to develop tried and true conservation breeding methods that may also be applied to other at-risk bumblebee species in the future. Within Wildlife Preservation Canada, we have the Native Pollinator Initiative, which is what I'm affiliated with. This launched in 2013, and since then we've been collaborating with a number of partners in Canada and internationally to develop and maintain a variety of native pollinator conservation projects. I mentioned bumblebees, but outside from that, we have a couple butterfly projects that we also work with, including this Taylor's checker spot butterfly program, which is out in BC. This consists primarily of a breeding program, and they've been seeing very successful releases of this endangered butterfly since 2015. So a lot of great work being done by our colleagues out there. Here in Ontario, we're also part of a group dedicated to the recovery and reintroduction of the mottled dusky wing, which is another endangered butterfly. On the bumblebee side of things, we have had programs in the past operating outside of Alberta, but primarily our more recent efforts are focused again here in Ontario, specifically with the yellow-banded bumblebee. And within this program, we do things like conservation breeding. So we'll rear these in the lab. We also do in-field population monitoring throughout Southern Ontario. And then we also engage in community science and education and outreach, which we're all here to talk about and learn more about today as well.